Here we are at Coffs Coast Spearfishing with Todd. Todd's going to show us some of the odds and ends that you might need for going diving. I see you got one of my favourite bits of gear here, the keeper bag for the lobster diving.
Yeah, some people when they're starting out may use these for little fish, but they're best used for lobsters. If you get a tougher bag, it will last you a lot longer. Also, you can keep your measuring tool, your torch, whatever you need in here for the job. And once you get the lobsters, you can chuck them in there too. You've also got this style of bag, has the mesh on the bottom. You can clip around your waist like so, and keep your lobsters in there. This one you can clip off onto your float, so it won't be in your way as much.
Very good. I can see you've got some other sort of bags here. These are gun bags?
Gun bags, it's always good to look after your weapon. So the best way to do that, obviously when you're travelling, is a padded gun bag, or even just a nylon gun bag just for travelling around in the back of the car. It's always good to have the spear protected when they're in the car. Yeah, but the padded gun bags are really good to look after all your gear.
Very good. And here's a really big bag. I'm guessing you can put your fins as well into a bag this size.
You can put all your gear in that one.
Good if you're going overseas.
Yeah, a couple of guns. It's well padded to protect your gear.
Very good. Thanks for that, Todd. We'll have a look at some other things here. You've got a whole range of gloves and socks and vests and things like that.
Yep.
Some other stuff for when you're starting out. Oh, the old favourite, the hand spear.
Yeah, that's coming out.
That's a great way to learn some fish sense. Yeah. I see you've got a whole lot of different dive knives as well.
Dive knives.
What's the go with a dive knife? What do you use that for? Stabbing sharks?
Yeah, so these are our cheaper knives. It's good to always have a knife on you. Not only for killing fish, but also for cutting line if you get wrapped up in it, or even if you see sea creatures wrapped up in line, which I've seen quite often, freeing them. It's always good to have a knife on you. Some people like to carry two.
Very good.
One on the belt, one on the leg, or one on the arm.
They're really a vital safety tool, aren't they?
Yeah. So these are our cheaper knives. You can also get knives for those who like to dive for abalone, so you don't damage abalone when getting it off the rocks.
Very good.
You've got the difference between wedge belts and rubber belts is that rubber belts will grab on a lot better, whereas nylon belts tend to slip around.
All right. So as you're heading down, your belt doesn't move on you, which is good for your comfort. Yep. I see you've got the lead weights here.
Yep.
Alrighty. So how do you decide how many weights to put on? What determines that?
Basically, when you jump in the water, if the level comes up around the eye line, that should be around the right weight. In winter, I'll use more with wetsuits. In summer, I'll use less, as I use a lot less rubber on my body.
All right. So the thicker the wetsuit are, the more weight you need on your weight belt, and the thinner the wetsuit the other way.
It goes on body fat as well, so everybody's different.
Is that why I need an extra weight to get down, Todd?
That's why I need it too.
Very good. So it's good. It's really important to test yourself out in a nice, safe, shallow environment before you get into it, and make sure you've got your weights adjusted. And you get to neutral buoyancy, don't you, at some level when you dive down, where you don't float and you don't sink. What sort of depth do you like to be neutral at, Todd?
That depends.
All right. Yeah. So if you're lobster diving,
Yeah.
you might be neutral at a lot shallower depth.
Yep.
And if you're diving deep, say you're diving 20-metre reefs or something like that, you probably want to be neutral a lot deeper.
Yeah, so playing with your weights is one thing that each person will have to do for themselves to figure out what they need. It also depends on what fins you're wearing as well, because you don't want to put too much weight on you and then not be able to come back up. That's all known people to do. You also have weight vests for those people who get back pain.
Right.
And they're good for that in close shore diving too, to keep you a bit top heavy. But for those people with back pain, this is a lot better, as it does not put so much strain on your hips and lower back.
Yeah.
It's a lot higher on your chest.
Some people even wear a combination, won't they? Yeah. Have the weight harness and the weight belt.
Yeah.
It's very important, isn't it, with a weight belt that you have a quick release. So if you get into trouble when you're underwater, that you can quickly release that weight belt, help you get back to the surface a lot quicker. Excellent. Thanks for that, Todd.